Hey everybody, I just wanted to run through what we are learning this week, and it's about using what we call the window to solve word problems. All it is a visual map to help us with our thinking. A lot of times, the kids already know, what to do or what not to do when they're solving a word problem, but by putting it into information that gives us some steps to help us think through every time we see a word problem. When they get more complicated, get more information, then we have something to fall back on that helps us organize our thinking. So we're going to go through this. The first time we ever see word problems, of course, every time we see any question like this, we're going to finger read. And we know Ramon has a total of 815 sheep in 2 fields. He has 348 sheep in one of the fields. How many sheep does Ramon have in the other field? Well, uh, most of the time students will read that and have no idea what's going on because they just kind of ran through it. So then we're going to go back and find our important information. And we know that 815 sheep in one of the 2 fields is important. We also know that the 348 is important. And there's something else that's really important that we have a tendency to forget about. We're looking for how many have in the other field. So that helps us with a clue as to what are we looking for in this problem, and we call that looking for that with our googly eyes. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. So let's take the first amount of information that we took, the 815. It's going to go down in our analyze because basically what we're doing is trying to understand what information we have. So 815, and I have 348. So before I put any labels on it, what kind of labels am I using? Well, we talk about how we usually have 2 parts and a whole, or maybe we have groups and numbers in groups, maybe we have a greater and less than. So I have to look back at my information and see what's going on. What am I looking for in this problem? Oh yeah, I'm looking for how many in the other field. So that's telling me that he has a total. Oh yeah, it said total right up here. So this is going to be labeled total. And this is going to be labeled a part. And I'm looking for the other part. Simple as that. What am I trying to find out? My googly eyes tell me I'm looking for the sheep in the other field. And sometimes just writing that out helps me kind of solidify my thinking. So, do we have any rounding in this problem? No, and we're going to learn about rounding this week. So show what I need to do in step 1. Well, I can do a couple things, but the thing that's going to help me the most right now and that I've noticed is really helpful with my friends is going back to my part whole mat. So here's my whole, or my total, and here's a part, sheep, and sheep. Well, what am I doing then? So my plan is I have to subtract one group of sheep, from the total. So I just come over here to my do now. Now I'm ready for my do. I've got my analyze, plan, and do. So in the do, I'm going to take my total, which was 815, and I'm going to subtract my 348. But here's the deal. We are not as good at subtracting that as we need to be. So I want my friends to go back to their pictorial model, and they can put it anywhere they need to. But their pictorial model, sometimes we'll call it the tic-tac-toe, although there may be another column in it, is we're showing that 815 in a way that shows that we understand what the total really is. There's my 800, one group of 10s, 3, 4, 5 group of 1s, and then I go ahead and write in this amount. So can I subtract? Well, no, I have less over here, so I need to make sure that I have a greater amount that I can subtract from. So I'm going to exchange. I'm not taking away anything. I'm exchanging it. I'm turning my 10s into one group of 10 ones. And then I have a new total here, and my new total is 15. That's the step we need to bring in so that we understand exactly what we're doing. So there I go. Okay, so nothing's here, so I have to regroup or exchange, and that turns into one group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I try to put it in a 10 frame mode, 5 and 5, because it's so much easier to count and see. Oh, well, now I have 10 here, and I can subtract. That leaves me with how much over here? Well, now I'm down to not 8, but 7. So I go ahead and subtract. All right, I think this is my answer. But now I have to go over to my justify, and I'm going to prove it. And I can use a reverse or opposite operation. There's a lot of things I'm going to do, but we've been practicing opposite operation. So I'm just going to quickly do my opposite operation and check. And we're way better at adding those numbers than we are subtracting. So most of us are pretty good at go ahead and regrouping. 11. Oh, wait, hey, there I go. There's my total from over here. Here's the amount I used in an opposite way, and here's my answer. So I'm going to circle and label my final answer. So I'm going to pull back on this so you can freeze it if you need to, but that's all there is to it.